I guess this whole last discussion from my colleagues, I wanted to make this point and see if I could get your input, Mr. Calabrese, that technology in and of itself is not the villain, right?
Never.
And as Mr. Arcangeli showed, that not necessarily the application is the villain either.
That's right.
The issue is, this larger issue that we're having resonates in this same way, which is the unauthorized collection, storage, and sharing of private data and information without someone's knowledge. And obviously, as Mr. Arcangeli was pointing out earlier, when it comes to surveillance, the Supreme Court has ruled is at least, if you know someone is surveilling you, if you know someone's chasing you by helicopter because they suspect you, or the Coast Guard's hovering over your boat when you're out on the Pacific, you don't have to prove any kind of intent because you know that they are there, or at least that's what most court cases has determined. But the real issue here is, like in all of these issues of the government overreach, is what are we going to do to establish protections against that data collection, the sharing of that data collection, or, as a lot of civil libertarians will point out, even the fact that that information was then collected and the fact that somebody could go get a warrant for it to get that information and you didn't even know that your participation in that activity might even be a cause for your data and information to be accessed. Is that right?
That's right. I mean, we really worry about essentially the supersizing of surveillance by the government using private sector infrastructure. Essentially, if you build a surveillance model using drones that for all kinds of other purposes, the government may piggyback on it the same way they piggyback on, for example, internet surveillance.
But am I not correct that you can go in a court case in a divorce right now, and if you wanted to say, okay, where was they, use the GPS of the driver, like where were they and where were they driving around?
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, that's private technology in a car that's currently being accessed for all sorts of legal purposes.
And pursuant to legal protections and a legal regime. And I think that's what we'd all like to see here. I mean, we'd like to see, for example, a warrant used before you, whether the FBI is surveilling you or whether they're using private footage. There should be a warrant for that, and if it's in public, it should be reasonable suspicion backed up by a judge's approval. So the same controls that we'd have either way.
Well, I definitely believe in, three legs of a stool, that the people who own the data don't get to decide when it's accessed by law enforcement, that a judicial process has to take place. So
that's right.
I'm definitely in agreement with you. But how do we elevate this debate to the focus of this data and data collection? I mean, somebody was mentioning the first. To me, this is the 4th and 14th Amendment issues, and having a clear, I personally would make it like the Miranda rights. Everybody would know what they are. You have rights to your personal information, and if it's violated in some way, then you would obviously, I think that's how bright the line has to be, because I don't think this is the last application. This is not the last technology we're going to see. And making sure that U.S. citizens are protected needs to be a pretty basic right.
Yeah, Senator, of course, you're preaching to the choir on that. I completely agree with you. I think that in terms of how we elevate this debate, the protections we need, I mean, I was glad to see the FAA talk about doing a privacy policy, beginning to consider how we're using this technology and figuring out how do we control personal information, because there are First Amendment concerns.
But is that really Director Herta's day job? I mean, is that his?
I'm not saying he doesn't do it with other people, but, really the locus of activity on drones is with the FAA. And as Senator Markey said, other agencies have figured this out. I think they may have to as well.
Yeah, I had a chance to both support and question the new head of the Border Patrol this morning. And obviously, in light of the Washington Post article, they're using this a lot.
Yes.
I think there's very good applications for the Border Patrol to use this. But I also think people need to know that there are privacy protections within that framework and that it won't be abused. And it can't just be dropped in by another agency and accessed at will. That's the broadening of the policy that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that's the classic mission creep. If you build a surveillance infrastructure, it will be accessed by lots of people. The CBP example is a perfect one. They have drones, and now suddenly everyone else wants to use them. And those are spying on, it's not just at the border, of course, it's up to, 100 miles away from the border. So this kind of surveillance is already happening on American citizens, and I agree with your concern.
And with great concern.
And yeah, no question.
So I think, Mr. Chairman, thank you for having the hearing, and to me, I think because this committee has oversight of privacy issues, I think it's a very important issue for our committee. We've passed lots of privacy legislation in the past, and I think the committee should continue to focus on it. Again, I think the application and the technology in and of itself are great things for the U.S. I think making sure that, as we say, with American Express, it has its privileges, that U.S. citizenship has its privileges, and it's the right to privacy. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.